Paul, if we start with Gary Silk this morning,
Yeah.
just give us an update on him.
From what I gather, Gary Silk's signed for Grimsby Town. Gary was one of the lads that was out of contract this year. We put an offer to Gary, and Gary thought about it, but with being a free agent, he's opted to sign for one of the clubs one of the other clubs that he was talking to.
Disappointed to lose him?
I think he's a very good player. Yeah, he's been a great servant to the club. I think last season was probably not one of his better ones in terms of the standards he set while he was here. But having had talks with him, was hoping to put him back on track and get him back to the standards he set in the previous seasons.
Was it a case of money from Grimsby?
This is what I gathered. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gathering. Yeah, I mean, I thought we offered him a pretty decent deal. The one thing I've actually said to the chairman is that I'd be very I try and look after his money. I look after my own, so I believe in looking after other people's money. We offered him a deal that I thought was good for the club and good for the lad. But obviously, other clubs have been offering him more money.
Not about throwing the chairman's money away then?
No, I'm not that kind of person. No, I mean that's something that I'm very careful with. Like I say, I look after my own money, so I don't like to. I like to be very prudent with it, and I'll be very prudent with the chairman's money. It's in this day and age, there's a lot of people, that go and work an awful lot of hours. Money's getting really tight. And for whoever earns it or how they earn it, I prefer to to look after it if they put me in charge of it. So I'm very prudent with it. That doesn't mean that I won't pay a player over the odds for a player or under the odds for a player. I have my sort of worth for a player. I have a wage structure to deal with, and everything's got to come within that scale.
Have you been pleased with the wage structure that you've been given so far? The chairman talking to us the other week saying that you're going to have one of the biggest budgets in this league next season.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I've openly said that it's a wage structure that I think I can affect that top sort of 10 of this league. There's plenty of clubs that I think are throwing a lot of money in it, money at it this year. And I think it's going to be a really tough top half of the table, should I say, because I think there's a lot of clubs that are very evenly balanced up there, and I think it's going to come down to finer detail in terms of who's the successful clubs.
Is an example of perhaps that new wage structure this season going to, or has been already, the signing of Paul Bolland?
Not really. Paul's a lad that, like I said, I've known for a while. I don't think it was all about money with Paul. I think I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Macclesfield, but they've been sort of fighting the lower reaches of the second division for a while, and Paul feels as though he wants to come here and enjoy a challenge at the top end of a table. Like I say, I think with Paul, an experienced pro like himself, I don't think it was a case of just coming here for extra money.
Do you feel that there's a perception built up though? A conference club picking a league player out of League Two side. Do you understand that perception?
Well, I think there is a perception out there, but I think we have to be realistic. There's not a great deal of difference between the top half of the Conference National and the bottom half of the second division. Clubs have proved that in the past, not just with finance, but with playing staff. I think there's an awful lot of good players in non-league football as well as in the second division that are averaging out around roughly the same sort of wages. There'll be some big spenders in every league, there always is. But I think in general, I don't think there's much between the top half of this league and the bottom half of the second division.
What will Paul do for your side though? I imagine he's going to become an integral part of your squad?
Well, first and foremost, he's got to earn the right to win his shirt. Knowing Paul as I do, he'll do that. He'll be a bit of a governor in there. He'll give us that experience throughout the season. He'll go and win the ball. He'll make a simple pass when he's playing. And more than anything, he'll give me a voice on the field and an organisation on the field that you don't get with the younger kind of players. Like I say, the experience that next season I think is going to be so valuable to the side, and Paul brings that he brings a wealth of that.
I know we're in June, and perhaps a long way away from the beginning of the season. Have you made a decision about your captain?
No, I've not. I'm one of these people that is there's a lot of people that are going to be coming into the football club, a lot of footballers. There's a lot of footballers already here. I'm one of these people that I like to throw them in the mix in pre-season and test characters. And I usually, the captain usually picks himself after a bit for me. You know, I'm looking for somebody that's a leader in the dressing room, as well as a leader out on the pitch, and that's a good role model for Mansfield Town Football Club.
Where do you stand in terms of your assistant now?
It's at this minute, I don't think that Richard Cooper will be coming to the club. We made an offer to Richard. You know, Richard's not just an ex-work colleague of mine. You know, worked together at Eastwood, but he's also a friend, and Richard's got a young family, and you know, and a secure job, and understood that. You know, as well as the finance, that the security of just, you know, he's got a job he's been involved in for about 4 or 5 years now, and he couldn't give that up. So I had meetings yesterday that went on till late last night with an assistant manager, well, a potential assistant manager, and I've been talking to 1 or 2 others, and we'll be talking to 1 or 2 others about the same role. I'd like to bring in a player coach, somebody with a bit of experience that has the qualifications and the know-how to do bits and bobs on the training ground. And like I say, I'm hoping that will be done sooner rather than later.
As well as an assistant manager?
As well as an assistant manager, yeah. I've just, to let everyone know, I've told the fitness coach here from last year that he sort of won't be part of my plans, and hopefully what I'm trying to do is utilise money free money up to bring in somebody that I could utilise at some stage during the season as a player, as well as utilises you know, the individual's strengths as a coach, stroke fitness coach.
Did I miss any announcements on Paul Hall? Has anything happened with him? Or?
Paul, I spoke to Paul Hall a while back and told him that I was looking to bring my own staff in. Paul, you know, to be fair, I had a great conversation with Paul. You know, he sort of understood the situation. I'm not too sure where they lie on the legality of the club. You know, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, I've spoken to Paul personally and told him that, you know, he won't be part of my plans next year, purely because I'd like to bring my own staff in.
Would you hope to have the assistant in place by the end of this week then? Is that the idea?
I'd like, Matt, yeah. Probably the weekend. I mean, it was because of the situation, you know, with Richard Cooper. I've tried to give Richard a lot of time to really make an honest, you know, decision on it. I don't like to. It's not a position that I think you can rush into. I mean, as you've probably seen, I don't like to just dive in and make quick decisions on individuals. I like to sit back. I like to sort of dissect information and sort of come up with what I think's you know, a positive decision for not just for myself, but that's going to be for good for the football club in the long run. So I'm hoping, by the weekend, at least the coach, if not the both of them, give me a positive answer. Well, I say a positive answer. Just an answer, to be fair, you know, yes or no.
Have you got 3 in the frame then? Is it 3 in the frame for assistant?
There was 3 in the frame for assistant manager, yeah. All of them got different sort of skills and different, and I've taken on different roles at clubs. Yeah. All of them have obviously got a background in pro football as well as non-league football, and more than anything, the people that I feel. It's an important position in the club because you have to have, it has to be the right blend, it has to be the right person for me to work with. You know, I'm not asking for Arsene Wenger as a coach, you know, I'm asking for loyalty, and I'm asking for somebody that has the same sort of mindset as me, and basically an extension of myself, Matt. Yeah. You know, so it's got to be an important decision. I think it's probably more important than some of the players that I'm looking to bring in, because you know, in layman's terms, we're the one that's steering the ship, and it's going to be very important that, like I say, that the people that I bring in have the right sort of mindset and are you know, have the same sort of mentality as us.
Yeah.